It's time for another edition of Singles Only Podcast. My name is Paul Farahvar. I'm your host. This is a super fun episode with one of my favorite human beings in the world, comedian Jill Kimmel. We were able to do this over the World Wide Web on a thing called Zoom. So if you are listening to this right now, you can go watch us live, look at our faces and our perfect hair at youtube.com/PaulFComedy. If you're already watching it, that's great. Like it, comment on it so we know you are watching it. If you're listening in the world of the podcast worlds, great. You can go watch it or keep listening. But why haven't you subscribed and told 80 of your friends? Comment if you haven't, review us, all that good stuff. It really helps. Check out my website, Paul F. Comedy, for upcoming dates. I'm currently in Florida for some shows and will be in Las Vegas for Super Bowl weekend, February 1st through the 4th. Check out my website for details. It will be at the Laugh Factory there. I'm looking forward to being there. In the meantime, enjoy this episode and check out our sponsor, eh? By now, you know that I'm a lawyer, right? Everyone does. And I don't really practice anymore, although I still have a license. But when I need a lawyer, and I do often need a lawyer, I contact my friend Scott Shapiro. If you're injured on the job or need compensation, you're entitled to payment for more than you know. A lot of times companies will try to settle with you so you don't get a lawyer because they don't want you to know all the monies you're entitled to. Scott Shapiro has been helping injured workers for over 20 years. In addition, his firm handles multiple other cases, including personal injury cases and entertainment law issues. He has handled a lot of my entertainment stuff as well as those of guests on the show and listeners. So you need a lawyer, sure, you can consult me. But if you want a free consultation from the best, don't take any chances. Contact my friend, Scott Shapiro. His number, 312-648-8800, or check out his website, scottshapirolegal.com. There are other Scott Shapiros. Make sure you call the right one, 312-648-8800, or scottshapirolegal.com. Tell him I sent you, and he will be very happy. Hey everybody, it's time for Singles Only. My name is Paul Farahvar. I'm your host. We are doing this show by Zoom. If you are listening, thank you. If you want to watch it, go on to my YouTube page at Paul F. Comedy, and you can watch while we bring on one of my favorite human beings in the world, one of the greatest exports of Arizona other than dry heat and sun, comedian Jill Kimmel, everybody. Jill.
What a great intro. Hi.
Like that?
Hi.
How are you, Jill?
I'm good. How are you doing? Good?
Yeah, just living the dream here. I'm still in Florida doing shows here and you're in Arizona. We are in both states that clearly don't believe in this COVID thing. So
don't believe in it. I believe in it because I've got someone quarantining in my bedroom right now who has it. So I do believe in it, but
it's a real thing and it affects people differently.
I know. And the thing is, like, some of these states are allowing us to do shows, like in Arizona and Florida, you're allowed to do shows because and as a comic, you're like, because I just sit in the green room with the other one or two comics. And then you get on stage, you have your own mic. I bring my own. Some of the clubs provide separate ones per and then you're done and then you leave.
Yeah.
So you're like, no, I'm fine. But then you're like, yeah, but there's this audience who's like, ha, ha, ha.
Over. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's where it's like a little sticky, if you will. But
some comedy clubs are really good about keeping everyone distanced. And then, like you said, separate mics and everything like that.
Yeah.
The places that didn't do that, I wipe down everything. I bring like one of those mic condoms.
I like those things. They're cute. They look like little lunch lady hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cute.
They're awesome. So it's been great. And then, you just have to roll with the punches. People get mad at you, but we gotta make a living. We gotta make people laugh. We're like doctors. We're like frontline workers.
We are basically firefighters is what we are.
Laughter is medicine, as they say in some places.
And a surgeon.
Yes.
Heavily gloved up. And as you can see, Arizona also lets people get their nails done.
Yeah. Oh, I just got a massage. It was great. They don't
You know,
care here.
it's like you wear a mask and she wears a mask, and then they have plexiglass in between you. You're like, I've never felt more safe.
Yeah. Why can't we always do this?
I know. Why haven't we been doing this for decades? I don't know.
I think it's great. I think it's great. So you are one of the people, one of the casualties of COVID was that you became single again.
Yeah, it's so funny because when I met you, I think I was just dating someone that I was super into and he was young and you were like, and I was like, no, like he's great. And like, it was my first like dating someone after my divorce. And you're like, okay, you were right. We only lasted like 2 months.
Yeah.
But then a few months later, I met someone else and we were together for 3.5 years. We lived
Right.
together and everything. And we did break up this summer, officially like fully like maybe a month or two ago. But like
Okay.
this summer, it was like he moved out. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think being home a lot was because normally I'm traveling, I'm on the road, I'm in Vegas, I'm on cruises, I'm kind of all over the place. And
Yeah.
I think it just like magnified like some of the issues we had. So
That's what the one of the blessings and curses of COVID is that there's a lot of breakups, there's a lot of divorces. I've been referring divorces to people, one of my lawyer
oh,
friends.
yeah.
So it's been
You know,
pretty
it's
nice.
like, listen, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
like if being together all the time like made you split up,
Yeah.
probably weren't meant to be together.
We've had a lot of people on the podcast who broke up during the quarantine. It's just you're expediting the relationship, because
Yeah, that's a
especially
good way to look
for comedians like you're on the road a lot, so you get to experience that like honeymoon of a relationship, right? When you come
yes.
back from a trip
Yes.
and whatever fights you may have had, well, you haven't
That's
seen each other in a
fine. I'm
while.
only here for 6 days and then I'm going back to,
Yes.
Alaska for 2 weeks. And yeah. And so maybe you overlook stuff or forgive stuff faster or whatever. And,
Yeah.
or you come home and the house is a little messy. It's not the end of the world. You're just here
Right.
for a couple of days. I'm sure I'll clean it up when I'm
Right.
gone. And
But
then you're
then
like, no, I've been here for months and shit ain't getting touched.
everyone is touchy, and you're on top of each other in some situations. I feel like your house is probably a little bigger than some people, the comedians we've
Well,
had, but
it's just bigger probably because I live in Arizona, so we have like cheap houses that are bigger,
yeah,
but it's not like big. I mean,
spacing.
yeah, it's like 1,600 square feet. It's not big, but it's bigger than like an apartment in New York where you'll literally slit each other's throats. I mean, it's
Right.
probably the space is
Right.
the only reason we just broke up and there wasn't like a funeral involved.
Fair enough. But
Yeah.
okay, so you touched on this before when we met. I wanted you to do the podcast. I think I just started the podcast,
And
so
I was
we're
like,
kind of
I'm not
dating, so on.
single. I have a
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Right. But you were recently divorced too. So how
Yeah.
long were you were married for what? 12 years?
19 years.
19 years.
We
Oh
were
my God.
together for 23
Wow.
and I had filed for divorce in November and then it was official in April. And then that guy that I was dating, I didn't meet till like the end of that September. So
Right.
yeah, so it was a while.
So 19 years.
Mm.
And do you think for people, I often say that marriage is an outdated institution. Did you think you were going to get married again, or do you want to get married again?
Yeah, I definitely want to get married again.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
I just like it. I like being with someone. I like taking care of someone. I like cooking for them. I like watching TV together and knowing they're going to be home and not worrying like, is he going back to his apartment tonight? Like, I just don't like that. I like the like knowledge of like, we're together, we're here. I love the idea of like planning another wedding, like a cute one, like a smaller one, maybe something like in a barn with like a lacy dress this time instead of, because when I got married, met my ex-husband, I was 21. So it was a
Okay.
baby.
Yeah.
And we got married, I was 26, which is also super young.
Yeah. You're still
I
not,
mean,
your brain's not formed yet.
yeah, it's not like too young to get married, but I'm 50 now. And like, just knowing now what I know now, it's like, oh, there's so many things. I mean, my mother planned the entire wedding because my mom's got great taste. So my mom would be like, what would you think about this? I go, oh yeah, that sounds good. Because
Yeah.
she was paying for it anyway. So it's like, yeah, no, that's good. That's
Whatever you want.
for centerpieces. Oh yeah, that works. Like I didn't have any input because she has such good taste and she kind of took over and I was thrilled to let her do it because I don't really get into that kind of stuff. And like this time, next time around, like I would love to meet someone and I don't know, there's just something there's just something nice about being married when you feel like, no, we both decided this is forever, not like one of us might have one foot out the door. Don't make
Well,
me cry on this podcast, Paul. I
well,
swear,
two
really.
things. Two things. First of all, you say forever. You already did it where it didn't last forever. So why do you think that marriage? You think the second time around you're going to learn to avoid the pitfalls, or you're just going to make a better decision up top because you're
Probably, yeah, I would think so.
both?
Better
Yeah.
decision up top. Like my ex and I, we didn't really have a ton in common. And then just as the years went by, it just was magnified like how much we didn't have in common, like to the point where we didn't even vote for the same person this time around.
Yeah. Well, I think
Um,
that that's been magnified more, this whole voting thing, because my parents have been together for 55 years and they're completely on the polar opposites of
oh,
voting.
really?
Yeah. They
Oh
just,
no, I could never. Like literally in my dating profiles, it's like no Trumpers.
yeah.
No, no,
I,
ma'am. Because
but I,
why? Why do I want to have that extra aggravation? There's enough to argue about.
right.
I
But I
don't
think
need
it's
to argue
different now. I think it's been magnified. But like, if you think about like when you got married, people weren't so polarizing about politics.
I didn't think much about it. It would
Right.
come around,
It
it would be
wasn't,
the presidential election. I'm a Democrat. I voted for the Democrat. I wasn't super passionate
yeah.
about it. I wasn't super worried about losing if we lost, not necessarily the end of the world.
Right.
It's
It's
different
different
now.
now. Yeah. So I think it's a little more polarizing.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah,
It's kind of like, would you date a smoker?
yeah, it's the same thing. I agree
Right.
with
Like
you.
some people are like, absolutely not. I'm like, well, that's how I feel about politics. Like,
Yeah.
I do not want to. I could date someone who's like a little more moderate and like middle of the road,
Yeah.
and like maybe doesn't have a huge opinion on it. Like, I don't necessarily want someone who's like glued to Rachel Maddow every night. Like, that's both of my parents every night. They're
Oh,
watching Rachel.
really? Nice.
Oh, God. Yeah. They're like the most liberal people on the planet. And, I don't want that. Like, I'm not like that. I have my opinions on it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
very liberal in that way, but I don't watch politics. I listen, I go, this is what's going on. Okay. I don't
Yeah,
want
it's different now.
to the news, or I just
Yeah.
want someone who's like a good person who cares about
Right.
whether children are in cages or not. Like that matters to me. I don't want
I
someone who's
think
like, I don't follow the news. You're like, but that you should probably have an
it's
opinion.
see, like I was always involved in politics all my life, and then when I worked on the Obama campaign, then I was like, okay, I'm done with politics. I don't care. I got to see what I wanted to do, and then recently, obviously, with the world almost ending, I got back into it. But I think with politics, when we get back to some normalcy, I don't think it's going to be. Well, for you, probably it is because it's obviously like smoking for you. But for other people, like I remember when I would go on the dating apps and someone would put conservative, I'm like, conservative or like Trump conservative? Like I'd just
Nope.
be like, there's a big
Yeah.
difference. But,
Now it does not matter to me. If I see
right.
conservative or you're under 5'10", swipe. Sorry,
Oh,
no.
we'll get to the height thing too, but I want to bring up this whole question about a barn. Like, where the
Yeah.
fuck did you get the barn as your location?
That's like such a wedding thing. When was the last time you were at a wedding?
Oh, man. It's been a while, obviously. I don't know,
Okay,
probably
so
a
I
couple
feel
of
like
years, but I've never been in a barn for
in
a
the
wedding.
last decade or so, it's kind of like country chic, maybe not necessarily a barn, but kind of there's wood and flowers, like maybe a cowboy boot. I don't know.
See, I went to a school in downstate Illinois, Champaign, Illinois, where we had barn dances. Every year our fraternity had a barn dance, and then other sororities had barn dances. So you had like your barn dance outfit. But I remember after like the second barn dance, I'm like, oh, this is not fun. Like
Did
I
you
don't enjoy it.
plaid and stuff?
Yeah, we wore
Yeah, no,
plaid
that wouldn't be the wedding. It would be tuxes and
at
like
a barn.
right, but like it's like a shabby chic kind of look.
Okay.
It's there's like it's like minimalist decorations, white lights, and maybe just some pretty flowers,
Fair.
but very minimal. I
That's
just
an
like that.
that's an
Like my
Arizona.
first wedding was in a Catholic church, and then we went and our reception was at like the Radisson in Scottsdale, a real hotel.
Yeah.
And it had a beautiful ballroom, and it was like there was a cocktail hour and a nice like 5-course meal or whatever. It was very like an Italian New York wedding because we're from New York originally. So my parent, that's what we knew. And everybody brought, your gift was like money in an envelope.
Yeah.
And
I
my
know.
cousin, even who's like always lived in New York, we moved from there when I was so young, but my cousins are all like New Yorkers. And my cousin was like, if anybody shows up with a box, I'm going to send them home. Meaning, like, if someone brings you like a gift, like a
Yeah.
toaster, you
Out.
need cash in an envelope. Like, we don't accept like gifts. Those are for the bridal shower. The wedding, you get cash. She was like, if anyone shows up with a box, I'm set. I was like, she's serious. Like,
I always, if people registered somewhere, I'm like, all right, I assume they want this shit. But
yes. And generally you register for like your shower. And then, I mean, and that's as a New York thing. Like other places are totally different. Like in Arizona, people expect, like you bring a gift, but like as a New Yorker, it's just so funny. And I just think there are so many things I would do differently the next time around. And I just feel like if you love somebody, like, I mean, everybody has their different things. I have several friends who are just together and not married, and they're great and they love it. But for me, like, I don't know, there's something about I think one of the things was with my ex-husband, my ring was fake.
what?
Like it was real gold, but it was just like a cubic zirconia because we were young. We got engaged when we were.
Oh, you knew it was fake.
Yeah, I knew.
Okay.
We were 24 and we were so young, and he was 27. We just didn't have money. He had 2 kids, so we was paying child support every month, and he didn't have much, and we wanted to be married. So he proposed, and he always promised that he would replace it, sometime over, and he just never did. There was just never money for it. And I'm not materialistic at all. Like,
Right.
I mean, I'm like, whatever, like my car, I don't care what it looks like. I'm like, it's fine. If it runs,
You're like, it's a Porsche, it's a Porsche. I don't really care that it's not a
I actually have a Cadillac, but it's only because my dad gave it to me. I had a van. I had a Dodge Caravan, like with stickers on the windows that my kids put on there when they were little.
Right.
But my dad got a new car, so he gave me his car. It's the only reason I have a decent car. But
fair enough.
And like, as long as it runs and the air is cold, I don't care. I'm not materialistic, very like, but next time around, like, I'm like, you know what? I want a real ring. No, it doesn't have to be 4 carats or some, but like, that's something that's important to me. It tells me that someone took the time and saved up the money and cared enough. It's like a very symbolic, that's like the one thing.
Okay. So you definitely want to get married again, but like, do you think that now before you got into your last relationship that just ended, you only went out on how many times did you go on dates before you got into a 3.5-year relationship?
With this guy, with that
No. Before this guy.
Not a lot. So like I got divorced in April.
October, September is when you started dating.
I may or may not have had a military tour or 2 between the time I filed for divorce.
Yes, you did. I do recall that.
I'm just saying.
So you had some fun in the military.
Date.
Okay.
So it was April divorce. And then I met that other guy in September, and we dated for like 2 months. And I mean, I went on dates here and there, but nothing more than like 1 or 2. It was really more like people I knew that we'd like kind of hang out one night. It wasn't really like meeting people. I met one guy, we met up at a bar. I didn't even finish my beer and I left. He was very nice and looked just like he looked in his pictures, very handsome, no chemistry at all. I couldn't even finish my drink. I was like, okay, gotta go. And then one other guy, he was nice and he was also cute and there was some chemistry. And I thought maybe. We went on the one date and then we went on another date, but then I met the guy that I had been in a relationship with, and I had already had this other date planned, the second date with the one guy. And I was very like friend zoney all night to him because I had met the other guy just randomly, like through a friend, and really was like,
yeah, I remember that.
He hadn't even taken me out. We hadn't even gone out. But I remember thinking, I am hoping this other guy asks me out. I shouldn't be going on another date with this other guy. And so I called him and I was like, listen, you're really cool. I actually said this because I have like such little experience because I was married for so long. I said to him, I guess you're great on paper. And he was like,
what? Yeah.
I just meant like everything about him was great. He was handsome. He like had a good job. He was nice. He was funny. Like he had all the things. I was just like, there's just this other guy that I'm like actually hoping asks me out. So I don't think it's fair to you. And he was like, all right, well, thank you for telling me. I mean, we're still friendly. We're friends on Facebook and stuff. And he found someone shortly after who looks a lot like me, but they seem to be very happy. Their relationship lasted through the pandemic, unlike some of ours.
Okay, but do you, now that your relationship has ended, do you think, or were there signs that you guys were on the outs, like, or was it because you were with each other during the pandemic? Like, were you having,
There were some things that, maybe
now
there
that
were
you look
some
at it?
things, he's a lot younger than me.
Mm-hmm,
I'm 50 and he's 36.
mm-hmm.
So I think maybe there were some things like he probably wants kids that we
You
talked
don't want
about.
kids anymore?
Bro, I'm 50.
I don't
I
know how
have
these things
kids.
work.
They're in college.
Okay.
My daughter's 18. My son's 20. Your girl's done.
Fair.
But actually, at the beginning, when he said like he might want kids, he was kind of throwing that out there. I was like, I would have kids with him. I would.
Yeah.
I absolutely would. He was great. Like I was like, he's everything I wanted. And like went to the doctor and they were like, oh, honey, I think you have one egg left and she's powdered. It was basically like that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm not insulted at all. They were like,
Yikes.
yeah. So, but then, so then some time goes by and then you kind of forget about that. And then he kind of brings it up again. And it felt almost like every time we got into like some heavy discussion, it was like maybe he'd want kids. I don't know. There are some things that I'm not really at liberty to talk about because
Sure.
it's not my place to talk about. But I just think that I think we were right people, wrong time for each other, maybe.
Okay. Are you
Yeah.
guys still friendly, or is it pretty?
As of right now, yes. As of 12:30 last night when he texted me, yes.
Okay. Oh, he's still texting you late at night?
Well, I mean, not like that. Not like
I
you.
know,
Love,
but
like,
still.
yeah, no. I mean, sometimes you got to text somebody when you can because you won't be able to by when they wake up. So he had texted me and I woke up and saw. So no, we are friendly.
Okay.
I wish
Good.
nothing but the best. Like I think the world of him. I'm
That's an
good
Adele
for
song.
family. What?
That's an Adele song. I wish nothing for the best. For
I
you.
do. Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you? I was listening to it earlier. I was cleaning my garage and it came on and I was like, oh.
What did you learn from this that you're like, okay, next guy, when there is a next guy, or if you guys don't get, do you think you guys are going to get back together?
Probably not.
Okay.
In an ideal world, if I could wish it to be true and like all the wounds healed from the past, yeah, he's the guy that I would.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could take all the characteristics about him that I loved and just say, what characteristics do you love? 8 out of the 10 would be ones that he has,
Mhm.
funny and charming and just like likable and all of the things. And he's just a great guy. Like everyone who meets him is like, yeah, he's a great guy. And so I don't think we will be back together. That's hard to, because it's fresh. So it's kind of hard to like even say that, but probably not if I'm going to look at it like from a logical eye or from all of my friends who are like, bitch, you better not. But let's just say I wouldn't say never if he like progressed to the point where, I could be assured that certain things were
Different.
Yeah.
Are you out there again now, at least on the apps, or dating or anything? Yeah.
I'm not dating yet, but I am
you
on the
are.
apps. And
Okay.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, what a shit show.
Why? Well, you met your guys on the other guy, not your boyfriend, but you met other people on the apps.
Last time around,
Yeah.
I met 2 people, the one who had no chemistry with,
right,
and then the one who was nice, but I said,
Friends.
you're good on paper. And then Jason, I actually did not meet him on an app. I met him in person.
Right. And you were hoping for him to, no, I know that. But what about,
like now I am on the apps and I haven't met anyone in person. I talked to 2 people very briefly for less than a week. We did a Zoom date thing and I didn't have chemistry with either of them. One guy, very nice guy, he showed up to our Zoom date with no shirt on. I thought that was unusual.
oh, that
It's
is
not
unusual.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be one thing if you were like ripped and you're like, I want to. No, I mean, it's just like a regular guy. And I said, oh, you're not wearing a shirt. And he's like, I told you I was getting ready for bed. And I was like, oh, okay, well, sure, I guess. I mean, I don't have Noxema and curlers and a robe on.
Yeah.
I'm also getting ready for bed, but okay. And then another guy, the other Zoom date I had, he was nice, but he was odd. And the whole, like literally from minute one, I was like, I can tell right away whether I'm interested in a person or not. Either, you know, just friends, someone I want to talk to as a friend or person or whatever, or as someone I'm interested in.
Right.
And like I immediately, like, I'd be like, I can't, I just have no tolerance, patience, or like, and immediately I was like, oh, like I didn't want to be like, okay, so I have no interest in you. So can we, so I just sat there like cracking the White Claws, like,
Why are you doing them on Zoom? Why aren't you doing them in real life? You guys can be in the real
COVID?
world. Yeah, but Arizona, you can be outside. You guys are in Arizona. You can go to outdoor seating somewhere, or like go for a
Well,
walk.
to be honest, both guys were in California.
Oh, okay.
So I actually like the Zoom thing because you could do the one and then you don't have to leave your goddamn house and decide, oh, this is someone I want to talk to again. Like if if either of those guys were actually, sorry, the first one was in Arizona, but we figured, well, let's do this. And then if we get along, great, we can meet up. But if not, I mean, he was fine. I didn't like not, but I was just like, eh. And I'm moving to California.
Oh,
so
you are? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why the second one was California. And just know, I was just like, and then he was like, and just full disclosure, I'm medicated for this, that, and the other thing. And I was like,
oh dear God.
Drank a lot of tea. He had postponed our date the first time because he was hung over, which is fine, but he was hungover because he went to a work dinner. And I'm like, who gets drunk at a work dinner? And that's a huge trigger for me. I don't do drunk. Like, you can be drunk if you're a fun drunk. Like, if you're like silly and fun, that's great. But like seeing someone like slurry and stuff is a trigger for me.
Yeah,
I
of
do
course.
for that. I don't like it. I don't want to be around it.
Especially on our first date, like when you're just meeting someone. Present at least
you postponed last night because you were hungover. You wanted to be on your game. And so we postponed for tonight. And now you're drinking like highball, whatever the friggin' hell he was drinking, some whiskey or something. For me, like a 1.5 White Claws is like more than enough. So that tells you all you need to know about someone who's downing whiskey. But and then I actually met another guy. So those were the 2 Zoom dates. Another guy who we've been talking and texting. We haven't done any kind of Zoom or anything. Just because generally I didn't feel like putting makeup on.
Oh.
But he lives in California and he's cool and he's fun. And if nothing else, he's funny. He gives me shit for being older than him. Yeah. But he flirts too. And it's like, he's cool. If nothing else, like he's a cool guy.
Have you met when you get hit on after show still or no?
Rarely do I get hit on after shows. Well, I was with Jason for 3.5 years, so I never got hit on after those. I think people kind of, because I would go on stage
talk about it,
about him. But when I was getting a divorce and in that, I did get hit on after shows, but it was never good. It was never like, hey, I really loved your act. Like, you were great. You were really funny. I love comedy. I come a lot. You think maybe you'd want to go out for coffee sometime? It was never that. It was like, so what room are you staying in? And I'd be like, yeah, it was never like, because I welcome that. I would love for somebody cute to come up and be like, I really enjoyed your set. Like, I almost didn't come tonight. My friends made me come. Like, while you're in town, you think you want to get a drink? Just something nice. Like, creepy. You're like, who falls for creepy? Who does this?
People. A lot of people.
What girl falls for creepy? What girl goes, I'm in room 4216? Like, who?
I don't know. It depends on what the guy looks like. I mean, some girls will probably be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you're
Brad
like
Pitt.
just interested in that. I don't like, I mean, I actually was on a cruise. It's funny you say that. I was on a cruise about a year ago and there was a guy who was
performing.
I was working the cruise ship. So I was there by myself.
Right.
And he was really cute. And I remember thinking, if I wasn't in a relationship, this is the kind of guy that I would be interested in because he was very cute. But I was in a relationship, so it didn't matter. But he was hitting on me so hard every night, but he was wasted. And I was like, first of all, you don't have a chance because I have a boyfriend. But secondly, even if I didn't have a boyfriend, he was like,
Yeah.
like so. I don't get
That's
it.
for me. That for me is a big thing too, because I rarely drink these days, and when I do, I don't care if other people drink, but if all they do is just get wasted every time I see them, I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay, I have no problem with that because that's all I did when my 20s and my early 30s. But like, I just don't drink that much anymore, so
And I
we're
don't
never
even
going to be on the
if
same
you
page.
do. Listen, if you have
It's
8,
fine.
10, 12 drinks, if that's your jam, my ex-husband could drink 7, 8, 9 gin and tonics, and he was fine. He's a
Right.
big guy, so like whatever. And that never ever bothered me.
Of
But once
course.
someone starts getting slurry or like that
Right.
20 stare or like rude, I'm out. Like I can, and I don't care if I'm dating you or if you're my, I went and did a show a year and a half. I think it was about a year and a half ago. I was doing a show, and 2 of my girlfriends wanted to come separately, like a girl that I know from one place and then another girl I know from somewhere else. They both were like, oh, we're going to come see you. They both came to the show to see me. They don't know each other. They both separately of each other were wasted. I was like, I'm out. I wouldn't even
Yeah.
talk to them. I was like, gotta go, gotta prepare for the left after the show, didn't talk to. I don't care who you are. I don't want to talk to someone
Yeah.
who's like, because you're not going to remember this tomorrow,
Yeah.
but I am.
Well,
I'm
it also is makes the conversation more difficult because, like you said, like when I was I don't know if you call it functioning alcoholic, but I would drink like 8 or 9 drinks. No one ever knew I was drunk because I didn't my nothing ever changed in my persona. But
See,
like
that would be
now,
fine to me. I could
yeah.
hang out with you and it wouldn't bother me.
But like now, like I'm the same as you. Like if I have a drink, I'm fucked up. But like I'll be on a date with someone and they're like 3 wines in, which is great, but they're also like slurring and talking so much. You're like, I'm like, dude, you're drunk right now. Like it's not
Yeah,
even fun for me.
at
Um,
all. Maybe
yeah,
we should date.
I'm in. I'm
Okay.
not 5'10" though. We'll get to that.
You're
You're
tall enough. How tall are you?
5'9" and a quarter.
Mhm. You know, the funny thing is, I don't know about other girls, but for me, the height thing is just simply that you don't want to feel like a big Amazon. That's all it is. You just
Yeah.
want to feel like dainty. And that's what it is. It's not like, ew, you're a short guy. Like lots of hot freaking short guys. You ever met Stevie Blue Eyes? Hot damn, that comic.
I don't
It's like,
know him.
oh my God, he's gorgeous. And he's probably only 5'7", 5'8" or so. But like, it's not the height thing. It's just that we don't want to feel like big.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
No, I mean, but you're what, 5'7"?
Almost, yeah, 5'6" and a
Yeah.
half. So
So
if
like
you're
you can,
with someone who's 5'9" and you know, there's hair, and God forbid you want to wear a heel.
oh,
You
if
know,
you're talking with
like,
hair, with this, I'm like 5'11", so we're
at
good.
at
Yeah.
least. Like
What
if
are
you
your
want to wear a heel, you're very like, now we're eye to eye. My ex-husband was 6'4". So
okay.
to me, I could wear 6-inch heels if I wanted to, and it wouldn't phase him, you know?
Well, what other than height, what else are you looking for in terms of the next guy? He's got to make you laugh, you said. And
Yeah. Gotta laugh.
obviously.
Listen, honesty is number one.
Sure.
Honesty is number one. Listen, my mother always said the
Over
worst.
looks, come on, between us
Yes.
girls.
Yes.
Okay.
The worst truth is better than the best lie.
Okay.
And that rings so true to me.
See,
I don't care if you say, I got to tell you, tell me some shit that I'm going to go, okay, but I'm going to go, at least you were honest with me. But
Yeah.
if I'm like, going along thinking like you're telling me the truth, and then I find out you lied, Brooklyn Jill will come out and you will not like it.
What does Brooklyn Jill do when someone lies? Is this going to be like an Incredible Hulk story?
It's kind of like that, minus the torn clothing, because
Okay.
I like what I have and I don't want to tear it. But
Fair.
yeah, I mean, I legit,
I'd be scared of you if you were mad, I think.
I
I've seen you go off on people on social media, which is fun to see.
yeah. Listen, I don't like being lied to, especially by someone who's supposed to love me. That is huge, huge. And like,
Okay.
that'll be a huge thing in my next relationship. Like, you'll get probably 2 chances after
What
the things that I've experienced, and then I won't tolerate it. I can't put myself in a position where 2 years in, now you're going, oh my God, I'm with a liar.
Yeah.
And I love you, and I'm invested in you, and my kids love you, and my family loves you. And what do I do now?
What if the other guy has kids too, and you're okay with that?
No,
Obviously,
no, thank you.
they can't
No,
have kids.
no, thank you. Mm-mm.
But that's a double standard, Joe.
It's
You have
not,
kids,
because my first husband had kids. He
right?
had 2 kids when I met him. They were 2.5 and 4, and I loved them, and I love them to this day. Those are my stepkids, always will be, no matter what.
So you can't have any more stepkids.
I had to deal with their mother and the child support and the alimony
Yeah.
and the court system and the fact that my ex-husband thought he could just do whatever he wanted to do
Mhm.
and not worry about anything. And I was dragged through it for 19 years. And so I'm like, I will never again date someone with kids. It's not a double standard because my kids are adults. So no one has to deal with anything.
What if they're adult kids? What if he has adult
If
kids?
they were adult kids, I would be okay with.
Fair enough.
The
That's
only
fine.
thing I do tend to go like, is this something I want to get involved with in my life? Is that then you think, what about holidays? So now holidays, is he gonna want, like, what does he do with his kids for holidays? Are
What
they
if
all
he's a Jew? Then you don't have to worry about it. They're different holidays.
that would be fine also. But like, generally, even if you're Jewish, you kind of get together, usually
Yeah.
Hanukkah is right around the
Christmas.
same time as Christmas. So are we seeing each other? Are our families going to mesh? That kind of stuff. But
Okay.
yes, if they were adult children,
Fine.
that would be okay. Much, much preferred. Little kids, absolutely not. If they're still in school, no. I will always swipe left on someone who smokes, who's under 5'10". And that's not a bad thing. That's just because I already feel like a big girl, which I'm not, but I feel like I am in my head.
Fine.
And because I feel like this, if they say they're 5'10", they're 5'8". That's what I think. That's why 5'10" is my cutoff, because really it's probably 5'8",
People
5'8"
say
and a half
that.
is my cutoff, but I feel like they lie.
They
So
do.
that's why I go 5'10", because
Yeah, I feel like I see. That's why I don't understand why guys do that. Like girls always say that, like, it says 5'9", but are you really 5'9"? I'm like, no, I'm actually 5'9 1/4", but with
but
hair, I'm
actually I
5'10".
rounded down because
Yeah,
I'm
like
a
I'm not
big
gonna
guy.
round. Yeah, because I'm like, I always felt like guys, and same with women who do this on the apps. Like, it's like, look, you put a picture on you that doesn't look like you. What's your end goal? Like, you feel
Don't
like
do
it's just
okay.
I put the worst picture of me. I put like the most average picture, because then when you see me, you're like, oh, you
You
look
have to
better.
though, you have to temper it with average, and then like one that someone goes, oh, like, but yes, don't ever put one that is so much. I never put anything that's like doctored. Like I have some good pictures because I get
We're on
headshots
stage.
done.
Yeah, right.
Right. So like I have some good pictures, but like you would never be like, you don't look like that. I mean, sure, if I have no makeup on and I just woke up, of course. But I definitely have a range of pictures, which I think most people do. And I don't
Sure.
know about girls because I haven't seen girls' abs. Guys can't really hide too much. They've got a beard, but they got that hat on. And then you scroll through, you go, if they're in a hat in every picture, they're bald.
What are they covering? Yeah.
Which is fine. I just want to see the shape of
Hair
your
is
head.
everything.
What kind of bald is it?
Hair is
Is it
important.
like receding hairline, like weird tuft bald, like,
No baldies.
or is it
Say
just
no.
like shape? I'm okay with bald. I just need to kind of see how you look bald, because not everybody looks good bald. Bald's fine. If you're cute, like you have great hair.
I am nothing without my hair. We know this. Like, that's all I
It's
have.
not true.
This
You're a
is the
cute guy.
greatest thing.
No,
Oh,
you're a
thanks,
cute
Joe.
guy. You're a cute guy.
But
But
on paper, I'm good. Yeah.
on paper and on Zoom. I have a friend who, back when this whole dating thing first started, like the online dating,
Uh-huh.
way back when, because she's been married for like 13, 14 years. And this is way back when she was dating online. And I was married, so I didn't have anything to do with it. But she went on a date. Okay, so she met up with this guy, and it was me and her and our other friend. And this guy met us out. That she's like,
Okay.
yeah, I'm talking to this guy and he's going to meet us out tonight. We're like, all right. So he meets us out. So me and our other friend, Jenny, are super obnoxious, like the worst humans ever. When we get together, we've been best friends since we were 15. So like, you know how that goes. We're like dumb and we say stupid shit and we make each other laugh and we're just like total idiots. So we were being like that night. We were just amusing each other and just like dumb as shit. Well, the guy was not there more than a half an hour. And he's like, yeah, gonna go. And he left. And she was like, wow, like, I don't really understand. And he never called her again. So Jenny and I felt really bad. We were like,
It's your fault.
if we were assholes And so he didn't want to hang out with her. Lo and behold, 2 weeks later, I run into him at a car wash. I'm getting my car wash and I look over and I go, oh my God, that's that guy. So I go up to him and I go, hey, do you remember me? And he's like, oh yeah. And I go, I just want to apologize. I said, me and our other friend were there and we were acting a fool. And we were really, and I feel really bad because you never called her again. And he goes, thank you for saying that. I thought you guys were hilarious. She didn't look anything like she looked at me. That's why I left.
Holy shit.
I was like, what? He's like, yeah. All her pictures were like,
yeah.
He's like, and he goes, I mean, I don't care, but like her body was nothing. Like her face, she had a really skinny, like if you saw her face, you would think she was like an average size person, but she had an odd shaped figure and she had like gained weight. So it wasn't great. Like if you saw it and you were attracted to it, great, but he wasn't. And he felt very misled. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so relieved that it's just
because not us. You're like, it's just my friend. She sucks.
Oh my God, I'm so glad my friend's fat. Thank God. Right. And that's the thing. Don't misrepresent yourself.
100%.
I'll actually like talk myself down. Like I'll be like if I'm talking to someone and they're like, you're gorgeous. Like this guy that I'm talking to, he's like, you're gorgeous. And I'm like, you're sweet. I'm like, you know, plenty of wrinkles where that came. Like I do that self-deprecating thing that like is comedians.
Right. We all do.
But I really shouldn't do that. But like, I never want to like upsell myself where you're like, yeah, I can do this. And then they meet you and they're like, no, you can't. Nor what I want you to.
What would you what's your age range then too? Because I feel like you look a lot younger than you are, first of all.
I do look younger than I am.
You're also more immature than you're a person that's your age.
For sure.
And that's a compliment.
Yeah,
100%. So
I'm definitely not like
see you. Well, right. Like I tend to date women a lot younger than me because I'm also immature. But I just can't see you dating a guy that's like older than you.
I know. And neither can I. And I actually had to do my age range and make it like, because my ex-husband is 53. I'm like,
okay.
I was with him. Like, there's got to be guys his
But you were
age.
also younger. You were also younger when you were with him, which makes him younger too. So you're
but like I look at him now because we're friends still, and like he's fine and he's fun. And I think like aside from the fact that he voted for Trump, and like I think like I would be attracted to him. Like I could see that. I don't go like, how was I ever? Like it's not one of those situations. So I did make my age range that high just in case. But like I gotta say, anyone who's that age who clicks on me, I'm like, they look old.
right.
Like, they look old.
Like people make fun of me because like I'm like, so I did a joke where I was like, oh, my age range is like 23 to 37, but like it's not true. That's not accurate.
How old are you?
I'm older than I look. I'm not allowed to say my age anymore, but I'm over 40.
You're not allowed to? Whose rule is
my
this?
agent said not to say it on anything.
Oh, cut it out with the agent. The agents can listen.
Not all of us have all this great shit happening for us.
I don't have an agent. LA. So how about them apples? I actually do have an agent, but it's a very low end one. It's an Arizona agent who gets me like $125 extra spots in the background of a commercial.
Yeah, no, that's garbage.
It's not his fault. It's just Arizona. But I don't have an agent.
You're moving to LA. If
anybody in LA would like to sign me, I can play ages 38. Well, my dating app, my lowest end is 36. And that's because Jason, my last boyfriend, is 36. And I thought, should probably not go much younger than that. But I got to say, the guy that I dated for the 2 months when I met you, that was 4 years ago. He was 28.
I do remember that. I think he came to our show. Our show, right? And I was like, and I think I go, nice work, Jill.
Everyone's always like, okay. I don't know what it is.
You should be able to. You're hot and like you're a comedian and you're on stage. Like us being on stage automatically makes us, like you're already.
Yeah, Jason's 36 and this guy I'm talking to right now also 36. I tend to draw these younger guys. This guy the other day, he had a thing on and he said he was 51. And I was like, there is no way. And I didn't even I wouldn't have swiped on him no matter what his age was. I just wasn't attracted to him. He was fine, but like not my jam. But I still commented on his photo and I go, how in the world are you 51? He looked he was so young looking. And he wrote me, he goes, that's not right. He goes, I'm 30. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, that makes a lot more sense. And he was like, how are you? I'm like, I'm good, but I'm 20 years older than you. So I'm going to go ahead and unmatch. He's like, you're really pretty though. I was like, oh God. I was like, I think, is it like mommy issues? I'm not sure.
It's popular right now in the
I'm
porn,
okay with it.
in the porn world.
Okay
It's
with it.
it's unfair because like at all the porn sites, when people do like MILF porn or mature porn, they're just women in their 30s. Like it's just
Right?
sexist. It's like, come on.
Yeah, you're like,
I mean,
okay.
some of them are our
Sure, she could be
friends.
somebody's mom, but
Yeah.
he's 5 years old.
Right.
She's not your mom.
Yeah, like it's so crazy. Like I know, I mean, I've had some of my friends who are porn stars on the podcast, and I'm like, that's not fair. Like she's not even a mom, and she's in all these scenes.
I mean, you could be 16 and be a mom. You should not qualify for MILF
bullshit.
porn.
But
Give me a break.
Kids love that shit. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, there's a lot of the women tend to, like, I've had people on the apps, they're like, my limit is like 39. I'm like, fuck you. Like I go out with girls that are
Meaning oldest?
Yeah,
They're
like
old.
women in their 30s.
I would date someone who is older. Absolutely would. I don't have a cutoff on that. And I would date someone who is younger than the 36. I absolutely would.
But that's the demo.
When you're kind of trying to narrow it down on the site, you can't be talking to every 29-year-old who thinks like, it's like, yes, if we met, listen, I never would have thought I would have dated someone that young, but with the first guy that I dated for just like 2 months, I met him at a karaoke thing. We were actually at Stand Up Live in Phoenix at the bar next door, Copper Blues.
Yeah.
And they're doing karaoke, and so was I, and that's how we met. I would never have seen, there's a lot of cute guys on the dating sites that are that young, and I will swipe left on them because I just feel like, generally speaking, we're probably not gonna.
Yeah, I do the same. I don't. Unless I'm on vacation, then I'm like, you know,
right?
I'm only in LA for a couple of weeks. What's the worst that can happen? And then you go.
Come visit me next time you're in LA.
Yeah.
I'm moving.
Oh, I will. I know. I'm excited. I'll be out there. We'll talk about that. But okay, so I want to make sure I got all the lists here because you're going to get a lot of people sliding into your DMs.
I'm excited. Please slide into my DMs.
Oh, don't say
be
that.
Weird and creepy because I'll literally will screenshot your shit and put it online.
That's
so don't be creepy because I will do that.
That's actually
true. I do that. I do that.
Well, I know not because I've ever done it, but because
but you've seen me post it. I do it. I don't care. I will put you on blast. So do not come for me unless I send for you. But if you're like cute and you like think I'm nice and you're like, I like her or whatever, and you think that there's a shot to like maybe hang out or have fun or something, sure.
Yeah.
Like if you're a creepy weirdo and all you're interested in is like talking dirty, I don't send naked photos because first of all, nobody wants to see that shit. Second of all, I don't want naked photos of you. Only time I want to see you naked is if I love you or like I'm interested and we're like hanging out and hooking up. I don't need.
Or you're on a military base. If you have to be on a military base, that happens too. It happens.
I do like the military.
If people slide in creepily, Brooklyn Jill will come out. Fair enough.
Don't do that. It's just weird. Just find somebody who wants your creepiness. I don't want it.
Yeah, if you're honest and have no kids unless they're adults, don't smoke, no Trumpies, 36 to 53. Jill's your girl. Where can people find you, Jill? Thank you so much. We're out of time. We went overtime. I'm sorry I kept you so long, but
no, I love it. I'll be here all night. It's me, Jill Kimmel, on Instagram, and you can follow me because I'm not private on there. Or I'm on Twitter. It's me, Jill Kimmel, same thing. So yeah, follow and like photos and be nice and don't be weird. Don't be creepy. Okay.
Don't be weird out there. All
don't
right.
be short.
Thanks, Jill. Hopefully, I'll see you when I'm out in Arizona. Thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Jill Kimmel, for coming on the show. And I didn't make you cry. That was my goal, and I did it.
Thank you so
No, I'm just kidding. Thank you all for listening, and tell your friends, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Before I succumbed to the pressures of getting Netflix and Hulu, I was an avid reader. I still am, but I'm behind on my books. I used to read a bunch of books, mostly memoirs, biographies, nonfiction stuff. And as you all know, one of my favorite books is Perfect Pain by Paul Farahvar, a good friend of mine. It's an awesome memoir and it's a true story about how he fled Iran as a child and lived up this perfect life that we all are sold as a multimillionaire, successful businessman. But he had underlying pain and issues that he had not resolved. And this is what he did on his journey. It's an amazing book. I can't tell you how awesome it is. If you haven't read it already, I strongly recommend it. And I still have some free books to give away too. So for you listeners, subscribers, if you give us a 5-star review, I will send you a free book. I've got about 7 left right now. And it's a great book, perfectpain.com, available on Amazon. It has been discounted because he wants to get rid of his batch of books. Perfectpain.com, or go to Amazon, get the book. And if you've read the book already, give him a review too. We want to give him the Farahvar bump. Perfectpain.com by Param Parastron, or message me and I can maybe send you a book for the right price for free. No, I'm just kidding. Perfectpain.com.
I'm still standing on my feet again.